All right, we're live. Lee, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. Been interested in the podcast for a while, and yeah, thank you for inviting me.
All right, pleasure. Um, I know you come from a football background, but I thought we might just start with like your sporting background. If we go back to like when you were a kid, what were you doing? Has it always been football?
Yeah, pretty much been involved with all different sports. Like my parents always encouraged me to play different sports. I started at rugby when I was 8 year old, and then quickly moved to football around 10, when I knew that was probably one of the best sports I was good at. So yeah, joined a professional club at 12 year old, and then went through the academy all the way up till 18. Signed
What club was
pro
that?
Halifax, so not the Premiership, lower leagues of professional football. So I'm from Halifax, my hometown. So yeah, I started pro at 18, which is tough to stay in professional football. Is tough. So I did 1 year pro, got released, and then I was kind of in and out of semi-pro football until I moved to Thailand to play at 21.
Okay.
And then from there,
What?
I played in Asia for quite a while now.
So what prompted the move to Thailand? How did that come about?
So like I mentioned, I got released from pro football after 1 year, so I was playing semi-pro. And then I was working as a tiler in construction. So every day working 8 hours a day, then playing on an evening with semi-pro football, traveling all over the country on a Tuesday night or Saturdays at weekends, and going to the gym in between. So keeping busy, enjoying it, but I just wanted to play full-time football, and an opportunity came to go play in Thailand at 21. A friend who I played with went to play there, and I saw him on Facebook, and I was like, what's going on? You're playing pro football in Thailand? And he was like, yeah, yeah. I went, is it like professional and all that? You don't know nothing about it. So he was like, yeah, yeah, it's professional. I said, okay, get me a trial, get me over there, let me show him what I can do and just get an opportunity. So yeah, a few months later, he got me a trial. I went over there, didn't know what to expect. And yeah, after a few days, they offered me a contract. It wasn't a lot of money, back then it was just, an opportunity to play full-time football and never look back. Signed a pro contract, and then since then, 15 years I played in Asia. So I played in Thailand, Bangladesh, Malaysia. We went pre-season tours all over, like Japan, Vietnam, Cambodia, Turkey as well with a club. So yeah, we played pretty much a lot of different countries anyway. It's been a good adventure.
Nice. I mean, I don't much know too much about them leagues over there.
Yeah.
It's good enough pay to earn a full time living out of it. Is it? You can do it. You were doing it full
Yeah,
time.
yeah. So when I first went there, it was, very small money. It was £300 a week. I was 21. I didn't really care about that. I just wanted to kick a ball every day and, build a career out of playing football. Since then, the years have just progressed. So every year, my salary's increased. The development of the leagues over there has increased. And then, yeah, being able to, over the last few years, build a portfolio of properties in the UK, which has allowed me to, be financially free and move back to England. So yeah, you can get paid well over there. Depending on the club, depending on your experience, players are getting paid six figures after tax, and more. Some clubs. So just depends where you play. But yeah, the opportunity out there is massive for, especially for guys who've played in Europe or England, and maybe they're struggling in the lower leagues over here, but they've got ability. They've got an opportunity to go to Asia, earn a good living, live a great lifestyle, and yeah, just potentially leave football with something in the back pocket, really.
Nice. What prompted the moves? Like I know I saw like you've got a Wikipedia page, and I was looking at that. So what prompted the moves from like Thailand to Bangladesh to Malaysia? Like, is it just like circumstances, the coaches, all that sort of stuff?
Yeah, so how it works in Asia is you can sign three foreigners per team, so you can't just go sign all foreigners like in England. So they expect a great deal from the foreigners who come. They get paid more money. They're seen as the poster boys, and they've got to contribute like every single game. If you're injured, you basically you're gone. Like they just change players so quickly. Um, so yeah, the expectation's high, and over there they like to change the players for the fans. So it's like, oh, there's a new foreigner coming in and all that stuff. So yeah, I think I've had more clubs than Tiger Woods, Southeast Asia. But yeah, luckily I've been able to play in Southeast Asia for 15 years. And yeah, it were a good role, a good stint, because a lot of players who go there, they might be there for a couple of years and after leave the country because they can't get in a club. But yeah, we just went from I was loving life in Thailand, living a great lifestyle there. We had a 3 bedroom house, swimming pool, great club, 20-30,000 fans per game. Um, Broke my foot 2 days before end of the season. Still had a year left on my contract, and then kind of like forced out of the team for the next season. The window closed, and then it was like, okay, where do I go? Do I wait for the next window and just keep getting a salary, or let's find a club? So I don't want to sit around and wait. So an opportunity came to go to Bangladesh for more money, and I was like, okay, it's more money. Go there for 6 months, you know, just enjoy a new culture, come back and play for another club. The reason how that came around is we went for a pre-season tour in Bhutan, which is somewhere I didn't even know existed at the time, but it was an amazing, amazing tour, amazing country, teams from all different countries like Nepal, India, Bangladesh, and we did this King's Cup. So we got contacts through that, and then they said, "Look, remember you from the pre-season tournament. Come sign for us in Bangladesh." So yeah, I went there, ended up staying for 10 months. It was an interesting experience to say the least. But yeah, it was really good. We won the league, the FA Cup. I would never really go to Bangladesh if it weren't for football. The experience I had were unbelievable. I really enjoyed it, but got another offer from there to go to Malaysia, and I thought, yeah, it's time to go now. I've done what I want to do here. Lifestyle wise, Malaysia seems to be a lot better. And then yeah, it's just how football, takes you.
Yeah, nice. Um, so I know you've played internationally as well for Malaysia. Did
Yeah,
you,
yeah, very
did you?
fortunate.
So, but you're English, right? They, I guess, a certain amount of time there meant you were eligible or something like that. Did it?
Yeah, so how it works is they never give anyone citizenship unless you're blood. Like you're from Malaysia and you've got blood, but the national team and the football federation they wanted to improve the national team. So they said, let's select 2 or 3 players who've played over 5 years in the country, and that means you're FIFA eligible to join the national team. So I went through a long process for well over a year to become a Malaysian citizen. And yeah, just to help and improve the national team really. So yeah, I've had 9 caps for the national team, and it's just another level when you go national team to club level. The expectation, maybe some of the games aren't as good depending on who you're playing against, but the expectation from the fans and the club, like the country, is so high. But yeah, it's unbelievable. Never
Good.
expected that to happen from being from Halifax and working as a tiler to,
Yeah,
15, 14 years later doing that.
yeah. Good experience though, like the
Oh yeah.
international games, especially. Yeah,
Yeah, amazing. Yeah. We like playing in front of 40,000 home fans, and the build up's unbelievable. As you could imagine on social media, it's insane.
did you get nerves before like a big game like that in front of that many
Uh,
people?
I did when I was younger. It's not as much the last few years, to be honest. I think it's just because you every week you're doing the same thing, repeating yourself. But I guess it's one of them. I don't think I'm nervous as in like, oh, like, the tension's too high. Maybe just go into a zone a little bit more. Maybe go in within myself a bit more quiet and just focus on what I need to do. So you could say that's nerves, but I think it's
Mhm.
controlled nerves more than worried nerves. And like HYROX as well. We have a lot of friends who go to HYROX races and they say, "Oh, I'm nervous and oh, I'm dreading it," and things like that. And I don't really. get to that point. Maybe because I've experienced like game day a lot of times.
Hmm.
So it's kind of like just how you deal with it. Everyone deals with it in different ways, and it's always good to have nerves, I think, as well. So it's not always the best thing not to have nerves, but it's always a good thing because it keeps you on your toes, and you're eager and ready to go.
Yeah, yeah. It can be like reframing it as well. Like you might feel something, but you could like reframe nerves as excitement or something like that, and like
Exactly.
feeling
Yeah.
ready to go. You don't want to feel like flat and like dead and not ready to go, do you? So yeah.
Yeah.
You've told me you've played in front of 80,000 people as well. Was that for like a cup game or something like that? Was it?
Yeah, that was the Malaysia Cup final. So that was 80,000 fans, and I've never experienced anything like that. The build-up was insane. Like the tickets went on sale, and within 2 hours, every ticket was sold. There were people queuing up for overnight for tickets.
It's like
There
a
were,
UK HYROX, mate.
oh mate, yeah, yeah, less than 2 hours. Yeah, it's exactly the same, and like the people getting heat stroke for waiting in line overnight and stuff because it's red hot over there, and it's so yeah, it was a great experience. We didn't win, unfortunately,
Uh,
but yeah, like we just stood there in front of 80,000 fans, 9 o'clock at night kickoff, rain's coming down, floodlights there, just the stadium full. Yeah, there was nothing like that. My dad and my brother came to watch. They flew over just for that game. So yeah, just
Amazing.
flags everywhere.
Okay, awesome. So, what position were you? Where did you play?
So when I went to Thailand, I started off as a striker and then slowly moved back into a winger, into a midfielder. So yeah, maybe with the age I dropped a little bit. More of a midfield role, but yeah, playmaker. So attacking midfield is where I've played most of my career.
Okay, so so you came home back to the UK
Yeah.
relatively recently, actually. Was it last year?
Yeah, it was I think maybe 6 weeks before the Birmingham HYROX.
Okay,
So yeah, we decided to move back to the UK because we've just had we had two kids at the time. Like our parents are getting older and financially set herself up to come home. So it was one of them. How many more years do we want to live abroad without having good times with our parents and our kids? So it was a yeah, it was a really hard decision to make. And many days of going back and forth. Should we leave now? Should we leave then? But yeah, we made the choice, and so far it's been good apart from the weather. Yeah.
so you how did you discover HYROX?
Well, so I came back home, and then I just went to the local gym. A friend of mine's got a gym there, and they was like, "Oh, we're all competing in HYROX." So I was like, "What's that?" Like, and they explained it all to me. And literally, they said, "Oh, we've got one ticket left." One of them, someone didn't want to do it, so they was like, "Okay, you can buy this ticket." I was like, "Okay, yeah." It was like men's pro. I weighed 70 kg at the time. Never pushed a sled in my life. Never done ski erg or anything like that. I always went to gym, did like hit workouts, but never trained like that before. So I was like, okay, yeah. So I was like, am I going to be able to push a sled that's 200 kg? And I was like, yeah, yeah, you'll be fine, you'll be fine. So we went to another gym that had a better sled, tested it out. It moved fine. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'm confident I can finish it. I'll give it a go. So yeah, just went all for it. Trained for a few weeks, 3 or 4 weeks with that, and then yeah, did Birmingham. Which once I did it, I was like, yes, I really enjoy this, even though it was tough.
What was your time that day? Finished the time?
I did 1 hour 13 in Birmingham, but I think I don't know how many minutes on sled push. It were a long time. I think I went out way too hard. Got a
Ended.
stitch. Yeah, got a stitch. Had to walk for about 30 seconds to go again after the sled push. But yeah, I started coming into it a little bit after the sled pull. That's where I started getting a bit of the time back and get going. But yeah, it was a struggle at wall balls as well. That was really tough, but yeah, loved it. Loved it.
Did you know? I mean, obviously, like professional footballing background, you're not unfit, but did you? were you aware that you were like, oh, you're obviously a decent runner.
Yeah.
Were you, did you like, were you aware that you were like that decent at that time? Like, had you done much like standalone
Um,
running and everything? Were you
yeah,
like, do you think you were relatively fit within your football teams as well? Would you
yeah.
say?
So running wise, I've always been good. Like we always do like bleep tests or running. Like every team I've ever played in since I was a kid, I always come first. Cross country, I've always came first. Never lost a cross country. So stamina, I'm really good with. Endurance. Same when we play in the we have football games. Probably one of my standout things, abilities is my like speed, endurance, and stamina. Can get up and down a pitch really well. So I knew I'd do well with the running. Um, Also, for my size, I'm strong. But when you're talking about pushing 200 kg, obviously I'm not going to be the strongest, in the room. So it's something I had to work on, put a bit more size on. So from Birmingham to, I think it was the next two races, I put like 8 kg on. But yeah, next to it, 3 or 4 races, put 8 kg on. Didn't lose the speed, didn't lose the times, but improved on the stations.
Okay.
So yeah, yeah,
You said like you'd always been like relatively good at the beep test and everything like that in your team. Did you like? Is that just like you naturally like always been pretty fit? Would you do you feel
yeah. I
like you
think
put in more work than some of your other teammates, like extra work into that side of things or anything like that?
yeah. Naturally, I've always been good at long distance running. I've always been fast, but yeah, I've got a work ethic. Really, like I've not really come across many players who do the same.
Mm.
And also when it gets tough, I like to go in the hole. I like to dig deep. So that's something I think probably gives me an advantage. So yeah, and it's the problem I have is as well is when we train, I can't do 60, 70% when I'm like football related. I've got to go all out. So I remember we did a bleep test maybe 4 years ago, and we trained before really hard, and then I did an extra session myself. And then the next day they just put in like, oh, we're doing a bleep test today, and like legs were gone, like tired. I was like, I'm not going to go all out today because it's just stupid, like get injured. After a few bleeps, shirts off, I'm running, and last one running for probably two or three times. So I was like, the guys were like, you can't help yourself, you just can't, you've got to push yourself. So
Is that? Do you feel like that? Like you've got that competitive side, which helps in football a lot. Do you feel like you've got that in HYROX as well? Like,
yeah, definitely, yeah, yeah. Because I thrive off it as well. Like
yeah,
I enjoy fighting towards something and working towards something and trying to win. I don't like to come last. So yeah, it's something I
what?
like working towards. I love the process as well.
Yeah, yeah. We've not seen too many footballers come into HYROX really, not at the top level. Um,
Yeah,
do you think we will, or do you think it's like then most of them
I
aren't
think.
necessarily that well suited to it?
Um, no, I think footballers. Well, the thing is with football, like you get players who are, lazy or athletically not great, but they're really good at football. Like
Yeah.
they can do things on the ball others can't. But the way that we train, if you get the right athlete coming from football into HYROX, they've got a very good chance of doing well.
Mm.
Um, as we've seen, two or three guys have done that already. So yeah, it's one of them. I think it's growing so quick and it's starting to get a name that potentially we could see some guys coming from football into this. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it'll make it a lot. It'd be good to see some of them guys come in, see how they do because I think they're built for it as well.
Yeah. 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 What are your like? Do you know where you're at? Like, I should say, by the way, so from that first one in Birmingham, you've since
Yeah,
done a 57:09, right, in the Open,
yeah, that's right. Yeah,
and a 61, just under 62 in the Pro, and then you
yeah,
recently did a 51 as well in the doubles. So
yeah, that's right.
you've come a long way in that. Do you know where you're at running wise, like your 5K or 10K or anything like that?
Not really, no. I don't really train to do like a 5K as fast as I can. I know I'm like 17. I can do 17. minutes comfortably. I reckon if I trained for it, I could get to 16. 15 might be a bit of push without doing a proper program for a 5K, but yeah, I'm around just probably top end of 16, just
Okay.
under a 17, I think, with me, preparing for it properly. So around that mark.
Okay. So what
Yeah.
you said you put on some weight since that first Birmingham race. Like,
Yeah.
is is it like been the strength work that you've really been focusing on since then?
Yeah, intentionally, because I knew the running would be there. At a certain station like burpees and things like that, I'm really good at. I never trained for stuff like that. So it was just a matter of improving sled push and pull, making sure that I improve on wall balls, and then there's enough strength there, for the roll and stuff like that. So yeah, I intentionally ate whatever I want, as much as I want, protein wise, and then I'm training a couple of days, a couple of times a day, if at least once a day. And I got a fast metabolism anyway, so it's kind of worked in my favour naturally to do that. With the with putting on weight, people worried about me losing speed or the stamina over a period of a race. But I knew I was that weight when I was really young, like 20, 21. I went to the gym a lot, and I still had the speed and stamina then. So I wasn't concerned about that, and it's not really affected that.
Okay. What's been your best experience in HYROX since you've been doing it? Does there anything spring to mind?
I think Barcelona probably the best experience, just because I didn't expect to do that. I never done an open race before. Didn't expect
That
to
was the
get
57
time
minute,
about.
yeah.
Yeah, 57. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I've only done one open, that was 57. And then the open double as well was a great experience. I think I suit the open very well because the weights is more than comfortable and I can keep, the speed and stamina there. But the goal is obviously to do the pros and to compete at that. I'm very close to getting under a minute, 1 hour. So ideally, that's where I want to push myself now.
Mhm. Are you are you racing in Cologne this coming weekend?
I'm not, no, no,
No. Okay.
no.
Actually,
I don't think so.
this is coming out after that Cologne race anyway. But I thought I'd just check. So you did
Yeah,
you did the doubles in, was it Copenhagen with
yeah,
Clement? Yeah, yeah.
that's right.
Did
Yeah.
you know him, or you just like that's something that you just met online?
Yeah, so I think Clemens he put on Instagram he was looking for a partner to race with because I think his partner can't race in Nice. So it's like,
Right.
look, I'm looking for a partner. And then a friend who we know, Nicky, was like, okay, I need to match you two guys up. You'll be a great pair. So anyway, we had a Zoom and stuff. He was like, oh, I'll come over to Halifax and I'll fly to England. We can train for like 2, 3 days and then we'll go race. So yes, I was like, okay, cool. So it came like 2 or 3 weeks before we raced. We, trained a bit. And then yeah, we met there in Copenhagen. And yeah, literally got there night before, raced that morning, went around Copenhagen, had a few beers, literally bumped into a group of guys who were jumping in the sea. And they was like, oh, come on, come join in with us. So okay, should we do it to celebrate a win? So jumping in the sea, getting in the sauna with these guys, having a few beers. And then, yeah, got a flight back to Manchester that night. So a very good experience.
Nice. Someone told me the other day that he's done more HYROX races than anyone else actually, which is a pretty good
Insane.
go.
Yeah, I think it's like 35, 36 races or something like that.
Wow, wow.
Yeah,
Um, um, are you doing Nice together as well? Is that the plan?
yeah, yeah. So I'm going to do the men's on Saturday, the doubles on Sunday.
Are you like, I know when a lot of people leave football, especially after like a proper career like that, you miss it, you miss the team side of it, you miss like the purpose. Are you missing it? And like, is HYROX helping to replace that or not?
Yeah, it's definitely helping to, fill that gap. There's might be 1 or 2 days here and there where you think, football, I miss this, miss that, but very rarely I look back and I think about it. Great lifestyle, great career, loved everything about it. But I like to look forward to what I'm doing. I don't think if I didn't have HYROX or I didn't do something similar, I think I would find it very hard,
Mhm.
like most players do. But having something that I enjoy and I'm driving towards, you know, I'm enjoying life. So, I'm happy to be back and do things that I want to do. I'm doing things related to acquiring businesses, building a portfolio. So looking on that side, doing things, and then obviously doing the HYROX is, what gets the blood pumping and fills that void with the football. So yeah, I can't complain. I'm happy where I'm at right now.
Are you writing your own programs at the moment, or you've got someone doing it?
Yeah, so I've trained with JK, trained JK quite a bit. He's brilliant. And then yeah, I've been writing my own programs as well. Quite flexible with my time. Obviously, I can pick and choose how I train and when I train. There's a couple of I like to train as well with a group. So I've got a gym here called One Vigor, and they're very high intense on the HYROX. So I like to do them classes because it's you don't have to start motivating yourself. You go there, you all train together, good group of people, so we have a good crack. And then I run with called Run Tribe. I do running with them 2 or 3 days a week. And then in between that, I do my own program. So it's kind of like you're getting best of both as well. Don't get too lonely. I like to interact and socialize while I'm training. So yeah, I get the best of all, get the best of it all really.
Nice.
And
What's
they're all
what's
into
run?
HYROX. What's Run Tribe?
What's run tribe?
Yeah,
Is it just
so
like a run club? Is it?
yeah, just a couple of friends. They just started running on a Sunday, and then before you know it, you've got 30 people running with them. And then they've created like Run Tribe from it. So it's really cool. So they'll run on a Sunday. They'll do tracks, run track for a couple of days a week, and then a small group of us get together on a Tuesday morning at 6 o'clock, and we'll do a 10K or something like that.
Okay. I often ask people on here like where their mind goes during a race when things are getting really tough, like in a high rocks. Where does yours go?
Yeah, just going in myself and start seeing how I can be most effective with what I'm doing within them times. And it's just a matter of talking to myself, try to stay positive, just keep telling myself like keep pushing, digging deep, push. You know, and I always say to myself, it's worth it. So just things like that, just little comments to myself. Um, but at the end of it, there's no better feeling when you've gone through torture. At the end of it, it's just no better feeling. So I do like getting in a hole. Birmingham was a hole, very, very dark hole. But yeah, them moments I like getting into and just because I feel you get the most out of yourself. You start to understand yourself more, and pull things out of you which you're not going to get in any other way than going into a dark place.
I was going to ask you what the toughest thing you've done is. Is it that Birmingham race or is it something else? This is in sport in
Uh,
general, like overall.
yeah, yeah, it's a tough one that. Hmm. I don't think like to be honest, I've only ever run like half a marathon, so I've never done anything extreme like that. But we've been done things like in football where you go to extra time and penalties and stuff like that, where it's tough and everything's burning, but you have to stay really
Mhm.
focused because that's where mistakes are. When you're tired and you're fatigued, that's where mistakes happen. So yeah, it's in them moments where you have to, I would say, doing things like that. Taking a penalty is probably a, a really tough, even though physically it's not as torturing, but mentally you have to be in the right place. So yeah, things like that is obviously it's a mental game as much as a physical game.
Yeah. Yeah. What about your best experience in sport? Does anything spring to mind as being the best?
Yeah, I think there was one game we played, and like one of them days everything just goes perfect. Everything I was touching, it was just going great. And then I scored two, probably in top 10, two of my best goals I've ever scored. One was from the halfway line, and then one just came across, and I just hit it, connected it perfect outside the box, and it swerved in top corner. So that game was just everything just came together. It was magic, and we won 4-1 against one of the best teams, full stadium. So yeah, for me, that was probably the best experience I've ever had in
Nice,
football or sports.
nice. What go back to like your training and everything for HYROX. What sort of running volume are you doing, or training volume are you doing every week at the moment?
Yeah, so running, it could be up to 40 kilometers, up to 60 on a good week. But I don't really need to focus as much on my running as I do on some of the stations. So I think closer I'm going to get to Nice, I'll probably increase my running just to be sharper. But yeah, probably volume 40 to 60 kilometers a week is what I'm doing. That's mixed. Sometimes it's volume zone two, sometimes it's sprints, and sometimes it's intervals. So I'll mix it up.
Okay. Okay. Are you doing like I know you said you're doing doubles in these, so you can do the singles as well, or
Yeah, yeah. I'm going to do singles on Saturday and the doubles on the Sunday.
right. So you recover pretty well after a race there?
Yeah, recovery is quite good to be fair. It's normally 2 days after where I start to ache. If I do a big session, it's next day I'm always like, oh, it's not too bad. But the day after,
Yeah.
yeah, we don't know. Obviously, it's gonna be tough. It's not gonna be easy. But I think with the experience over the years of training on a daily basis, I've got a good recovery system.
Was there anything like you did as a footballer to help recovery? I feel like footballers quite dialed into that side of things. Were you doing like ice
Yeah,
baths and all that sort of stuff?
yeah, I've been doing ice baths for quite a few years now. Started off with just a plastic bucket. I used to buy 5, 6 massive bags of ice from the delivery van, fill it up, and then moved on to a chest freezer where I've literally like siliconed inside it, fill it up, turn it on for 48 hours, and then um, I've used that for many, many years. So yeah, and then we've just managed to get an ice bath with a system now back in the UK, so I use that. So yeah, I do ice baths. I like to do hot and cold therapy. I think that's for me the best recovery is 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 3 minutes, going from hot and cold. It can be draining, so if you're gonna compete the next day or two, I wouldn't recommend it. But for me to recover very sore muscles, that's the best recovery I recommend. Obviously, I use recovery pants like compression pants and things like that, skins. If I'm traveling on a plane, I'll use skins. Um, and yeah, just massage guns, which I think nowadays everyone uses. I bought them quite probably 7 or 8 years ago. I started using massage guns, and they used to cost me. I think the one I bought was like $700, and there was no Amazon. No, Amazon like £25, £30 massage guns back then. But yeah, I think that's a great way to recover as well. And yeah, I'm open to trying new things. And one of the other things I use is do you know Compex? Have you ever heard of them?
They they're the things that go on the legs, is it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the electric.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
so I
yeah.
use, yeah, they're really good. Same again. I've used them for probably close to 8 or 9 years.
Okay.
But they're really good. I think a
You,
lot of guys in the CrossFit use them as well. I've seen that.
yeah, yeah. What you said you're doing hot and cold. What you doing for the heat? Have you got like a sauna set up or something like that? Or
Yeah, so well, I'll do sauna in the gym, but if I'm doing hot and cold therapy, I'll do like ice bath and hot bath. So three
okay,
minutes in a real hot bath, and then 3 minutes in an ice bath. That's the way I'll do it.
okay, okay. All right, awesome. Who's the best player you've played with?
We played. Well, I played against Robbie Fowler. That
Oh
was
yeah.
probably my claim to fame, but he was on his latter stages of his career, so maybe it wasn't at his prime. But yeah, he played in Thailand for a couple of years and he was coaching out there as well. But you could see he couldn't really move, but you could see like he's never lost it. You know, set pieces or a couple of seconds on the ball, slowing things down. But yeah, that type of caliber, you know, you can spot it from a mile away.
He likes his property as well, doesn't he, Robbie Fowler?
Yeah, yeah, he's into property, yeah.
I uh, I used to get called Robbie Fowler at school. People used to say I look like him. I didn't have his touch though on.
Brilliant.
All right, this big. What's your aspirations in HYROX? Do you
Yeah.
hope to be able to make the Elite 15?
I think, yeah, I've got the potential to make it into Elite 15, but it's one of them. It's a process. So, for example, I've come into this sport maybe 8 months ago. From there, I've gone, you know, improved pretty quickly. I think I've got a lot more gears to go as well. So, like I said, just I think if I improve on one or two stations, I'm in the under 60 minutes, you know, ratio. So from there, you know, it's potentially, you know, if you have a good day, you can go even better. So yeah, I'm there. But what I also need to understand is the sport is getting faster as well. So by the time I get there, potentially the sport can increase. So it's just a matter of just chasing down as fast as I can to get to that Elite 15. I'm not right there at the moment. That's why I'm not going to Cologne.
Mhm.
But it's pretty much there. So I think next season is going to be my season to come, you know, from nowhere and put myself on the bigger stage.
Must admit, when I was preparing for this, like I was obviously aware of you in the sport and like the times that you'd achieved. I wasn't aware that like you were still playing football like less than a year ago in like completely different country, and you haven't been doing HYROX for that long. I assumed you've been doing it for much longer. So like in your relatively short time in the sport, you've come a long way really, and like your times have been amazing. So yeah, I certainly don't think it's beyond the realms of possibility that you can get there for sure. Um, a question I like to finish up with is if you could put a message out to the world on a billboard for all the world to see, what would it say?
That's a great question, to be fair. Um, don't do anything unless you're going to give it your all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was funny enough that like you saying that I was going to ask you what motivates you in coming from football to doing something like HYROX. Is there something that's fueling you, that's motivating you to do well in HYROX, or is it just like something that you enjoy, something that like you feel like you just need to be focused on something?
Yeah, I think it's a mix, to be honest. So obviously I need to fill a gap from football. For mentally, you know, I've got to have something to drive towards. But it's in my nature to compete for something that I enjoy doing. And it just feels a natural thing for me to do. I really enjoy it. I enjoy the hard training and yeah, I'm motivated to do it. So yeah, I want to do well, and I know to do well in any sport, you have to go above and beyond that, as I've done it already in my own career. So I know what it takes to get to that stage, and you know I'm willing to do that. So yeah, I'm motivated for a different number of reasons because it's a challenge, which I thrive off, and I love that process for that. And then obviously the football side of things, I need something to fill that void, and that does it for me. So yeah, you know, that's probably the two reasons I'm doing it.
Okay. All right. Well, excited to see what you can do. If people want to follow you, find out more about you, where should they go?
Yeah, just I'm on Instagram. Can just type in Lee Tuck and it'll pop up. I'll be there, or I'm on Facebook, but mainly Instagram's my main platform.
All right. Well, good luck for the rest of the season.
Brilliant, appreciate it.